Okay, so I'm trying to make a little video explaining how to wire up a lawnmower. Now keep in mind this is a Troy build, it's an older one. Depending on what kind of lawnmower you have, it may be different. So I'm going to rewire it. The starter solenoid was back here. It had a ton of safety switches. I'm undoing all that. So I'm running a wire from here all the way up along this side here. It was on that side along with a bunch of other wires. And then it's going to run up, and I'm mounting the starter solenoid right here. The gap in these bolts that hold the side panel on is just right, so I'm going to put nuts on the end here. Then the charging wires come out the side here from the coil. This one's not going to be used for anything right now. This went to the headlights. I may hook this one up to the battery as well eventually, but it will need a whatchamacallit. I can't think of what it's called, but it's a little small piece here that actually turns it from DC or from AC to DC. I know what it is, can't think of what it's called. But I'm going to run this from here up to the top of this solenoid post here, so it'll go straight back to the battery. I'm going to run a wire from here into this four-wheeler ignition, into one of these positives. I am going to put a fuse in there, of course. And then from there, it's going to run into this push button, which is back there. And then from the push button, it's going to run down to the starter solenoid. Of course, starter solenoid will be grounded. And then from there, I'm also going to run it from there, from the key to the switch, and then from the switch to the headlights. And of course the switch, because it actually does have a light in it, the switch and the headlights will be grounded, of course. And then I'm going to run this black wire to the coil here, and then from the coil to the frame, and that's it. That's everything. So pretty simple. Now, like I said, there were a lot of safety switches. I think there was a neutral safety switch, brake switch, PTO switch, and then of course the seat safety switch, which I thought about hooking up the seat one, but we really have no good way to flip it, and we generally use our brains and make sure that it's in neutral and brake and all that. So I'm not too worried about that. If you do want to, you know, I'm sure you can find something on it, and it's pretty simple. It's just a switch, so it's on or off, and there's two wires coming out. So I mean, it's pretty simple, but I'm gonna do it the way that I'm going to do it, and I'll show you the way that I do it. Okay, so back here at the battery, I made this ground wire. I would have preferred to make it out of black wire, but only have red. And these crimps are not the greatest because they weren't the right size, but it'll be okay, and I can always fix it later. And then this connects here, positive, grounded to the frame. Of course, that wire runs up to the front here. Right here, I've got it running into this fuse. From the fuse, it goes into the switch, and then from the switch, it splits. Where does it come out? It splits. I've got a spade connector. It goes to the light switch and to the push button. It goes from the push button down to the starter solenoid. The light switch will, of course, get headlights. I ain't made it that far. Now the light switch is grounded, the key is grounded, and the starter solenoid are all grounded together here. And then the wire from the starter solenoid here goes to the ignition here. The coil, and then of course I got the wire that goes to the starter. So pretty simple. From here to the key to the frame is your kill switch, power from battery, which is right here on the starter solenoid, through a fuse to the switch, to the light switch, and to the start. And then of course the light switch will go to the lights. This one has a light, so it's grounded, and then the wire goes from the push button to the starter solenoid. And the way it works is you'll turn the key, which is not bolted in, so right now it's going to want to spin. You'll turn the key, and the light switch will work, and then sometimes these engines do this. It's like it gets stuck just on the compression stroke, but right now it's not going to run, it's out of gas. And then when it is running, you turn the key and it'll shut off. So pretty simple. Okay, so now I've got the headlights hooked up. These were originally for a 2003 Dodge Ram. My brother bought them for his truck. They didn't fit because he had aftermarket headlight housings. Anyway, so I stuck them in here, which they fit really good. Like, they fit in there pretty snug, but I'm probably gonna glue it in place. And then I just ran the factory wires. I just took the plugs here off and used the ends, and they actually fit in the spade connector things very well. And then I taped it, of course. And then the wire is gonna run down. It's going to be grounded there, just save some wire, and then it runs up to the switch. And when I am going to have to cut a little bit of the hood right here. I didn't really think about that. But if I hit the switch here, the light comes on. And lights come on. I have no idea how truly bright they are going to be, but I'm sure they're going to be a lot better than the factory headlights, and I had them laying around, so I figured I might as well. And everything seems to be working very well, other than for some reason I'm not getting a good ground connection. I think it's just the bolt or whatever, so I'm going to try to fix that later. But I'm not too worried about that. Everything seems to be working very well. Hopefully I can get the rest of the stuff fixed up. Sorry about shaking the camera a lot. I was trying to pick up my drink. But I think that's going to be about it for this particular video. But I probably will make some more maybe. Okay, so I'm out here testing out the headlights on the lawnmower. The new LEDs. Oh yeah, those are bright. They're obviously not as bright as the light bars on the four-wheeler, but that cat is a good, it's like 20 feet in front, and I can see it very clearly in person. I'm gonna say, yeah, they're definitely bright, and they were free. They're actually headlights from my brother's Dodge Ram, because he bought it thinking that it fit, and it did not fit. So yeah, went pretty good. No complaints.